Renault is excited for the return of Fernando Alonso, while Lewis Hamilton talks about knighthood. You can now watch full 24-minute episodes of The Inside Line at our new home on unbeaten.com. Renault sporting director Alain Permain says 2021 is going to be a good year, given the return of two-time F1 world champion Fernando Alonso, his third stint with the set-to-be rebranded Enstone squad. The Spaniard's preparation is well underway, his first taste of 2020 power coming last month with a filming day driving Renault's RS20 in Barcelona, before a two-day test with the 2018 car in Bahrain earlier this month. But it wasn't to get back up to speed, with procedures the focus, said Permain to Be On The Grid, F1's official podcast.
We only got 3 days testing at the start of next season. He wants to go to the first race, not even have to think where a single button is on the steering wheel. He wants to be able to go to those instinctively and stuff like that.
Permain also revealed the depth of the Spaniard's appetite to push the squad, even before 2021 begins, with his trademark intensity undimmed.
I feel that on the end of my phone a race weekend when he's texting or he's on the messaging me on the laptop saying, don't forget this or think about that, and he's sat at home.
Lewis Hamilton has shrugged off renewed calls for him to be knighted, despite reports he's set to receive one in 2021, stating that it's the unsung heroes who deserve that recognition. When I think about that honor, I think about people like my granddad who served in the war, he said. I think about Captain Sir Tom Moore, who got knighted and waited 100 years for that incredible honor. Hamilton, who secured his 7th world title in Turkey with a champion's drive in slippery conditions, works just as hard off-track, using his platform for causes close to his heart, like equality.
I've actually grown up in a sport that has very little to no diversity, and I think it's an issue that we're continually facing. I think it's all of our responsibility to use our platform for that, for really pushing for gender equality, for inclusivity, and for really just making sure that we are engaging and really trying to represent what the world is, where the world is today.
Alex Albon has been handed more time to prove his potential to Red Bull, with a near full grid for 2021, ensuring the team doesn't have to seek out alternatives before they sign elsewhere. The squad's original decision deadline was the Turkish Grand Prix, but it will now wait until the end of the season, with team boss Christian Horner speaking with F1 Nation, the sport's official podcast, crystal clear on what his young charger needs to do.
We want Alex to claim that seat and basically justify that there is no need to look at any other alternative than Alex. I think everybody in the team wants him to see him do that.
It's understood the squad's two main alternatives are Sergio Perez, who was on the podium at the last race in Istanbul, and Nico Hülkenberg, who has played super sub for Racing Point 3 times this season, and who recently said things had gone very quiet with Red Bull. F2 Series leader Mick Schumacher is keeping his focus razor sharp ahead of the final 2 rounds held on back-to-back weekends in Bahrain, with the title on the line and any mistakes likely to prove costly. Schumacher is 22 points ahead of main rival and fellow Ferrari Driver Academy member Callum Ilott, with 80 left on the table, meaning the German must play his cards right to become champion.
I think we have to be smart for the last 2 rounds. Obviously, if it's the right moment to attack, we will attack. And if it's the right moment to defend, we'll defend. So, it's just being smart, understanding the situation, and then work from there.
Schumacher is expected to make the jump to F1 next year with Haas as part of an all-rookie lineup alongside Nikita Mazepin. Ferrari may have anointed Mick Schumacher as its chosen one for F1 next year, but the Scuderia is continuing to support its top young guns, with Ilott set to run for Alfa Romeo at the post-season Abu Dhabi test. The 22-year-old tested for Ferrari with Schumacher and Russian Robert Schwartzman last month in preparation for an FP1 at the Nürburgring that had to be cancelled due to fog. The trio in a 2018 SF71H. But the Brit will get his chance in a 2020 car once the F1 season is over, along with Schwartzman, who will test for the prancing horse, sharing a seat with Ferrari development driver Antonio Fuoco. Schwartzman heads to Bahrain with a mathematical shot at the title, given he's equal fifth in the standings with Nikita Mazepin, 51 points behind teammate Schumacher with 80 on the table, but knows it's an uphill battle.
It's going to be very difficult, but anything can happen, you know. So you just need to believe and do your job, and then it's going to happen what's going to happen.
Macau is renowned for its Grand Prix, which is normally an end-of-season stoush between the best in F3. The 2020's edition was different, given the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, forcing a downgrade to F4 and only local drivers from the Asian region competing. The start, though, was just as intense, with pole sitter Charles Leong Hon Chio leading away, staying clear of the opening lap crash and fending off main rival Andy Chang Wing Chung over 12 laps to the flag. To become the first Macanese driver to win the race in the Formula era since Andre Couto in 2000. The 19-year-old overwhelmed to win his home race, surrounded by his friends.
Right now, I think I just reached one of my childhood dreams. Like, I'm a bit wordless. I don't know how to describe my feeling right now. It's just too much happening that I feel like I'm dreaming right now.
Mercedes-Benz has exclusively provided F1 safety car since 1996, with ex-DTM and sports car driver Bernd Mailander behind the wheel full-time since 2000. But next year, things could be different. With hypercar manufacturer Aston Martin, in which Mercedes has a 20% stake, potentially set to share the role and costs across a record 23-round schedule. F1 revealed the 2021 calendar this month, with Australia leading off from March 21. Vietnam has been dropped, though the slot left open, with 2 triple headers again set to test the paddock to its limits. Williams will have a familiar face in the garage in Bahrain, with test driver Israeli Roy Nissany back behind the wheel of the FW43 for his third and final FP1 of the 2020 season. The 25-year-old was on track with the historic team in Spain and Monza, both times replacing George Russell. Experience he's dovetailed with his second season of F2, though the Trident racer is currently 19th with just 2 point scores, 5 overall. The Israeli will also drive in the post-season Abu Dhabi Young Drivers Test, along with Williams reserve Jack Aitken, which is where he impressed the team last year, leading to his 2020 role, announced in Tel Aviv.
We have a lot of things to go over during the year with the FP1 sessions, which will give me a very, very good experience and feel of the car. A lot of engineering work in the factory in England, in Grove, and of course a lot of simulator days.
Mercedes has vowed to better understand how it would adapt to a super low-grip track surface, like at the last race at Istanbul Park, though it's not expecting any more surprises with Bahrain or Abu Dhabi. The Silver Arrows struggled for pace in Turkey due to a resurfaced track and rain, with both its cars starting outside the top 5 for the first time in the hybrid era, dating back to the 2013 Italian Grand Prix.
We don't have all the answers, but we are reviewing exactly what we would do now with a new set of components or setup changes should this circumstance appear again.
And while in the race, Lewis Hamilton was flawless on intermediates run down to slicks over 50 laps to seal his 94th win and 7th crown, his teammate Valtteri Bottas spun 6 times en route to 14th.
We don't build a car for these conditions. We're building a car that works on tracks in a normal range of temperatures that we're expecting, be it wet or dry. And clearly we ran out of tools and authority to be able to change what we needed to in this occasion to generate tyre temperature.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.